Psalms 122, verse 1. This is David talking, okay? David said, I was glad when they said unto me, let us go into the house of the Lord. So let me ask you a question. How many knows where the house of the Lord is? How many knows that the house of the Lord still exists to this day? What? Where? Right there? Where? The church is the house of the Lord. Gertie? Maybe if you can kind of hang out in this section over here for me. Because there's some stuff going on. So this is the house of the Lord. Huh? Did you guys forget? You guys are watching her. Okay, watch me. Well, don't worry about her, okay? Follow me for just a second. So where is the house of the Lord, boys? All right. Where is the house of the Lord, guys? Pay attention. Right here, right there. Right there. Right here. The church. So the whole building is the house of the Lord. Okay, so how many knows God's stuff should be treated what? Extra special. Extra respectful. All those things. The way we act in church is a reflection of our attitude. Because if we can't respect God, then we're going to have trouble respecting our parents, respecting police, respecting our teachers, respecting those who are in authority over us. Okay? So I wanted to show you something. Now we're going to talk for just a second. I've got 3 items up here. First off, I have a hacksaw. How many, if you had to build a house and you were going to cut each board, how many of you would want to use this to cut each board? Huh? We can do it. It cuts. No, it cuts. It's pretty sharp. The blade's a little old, but it's still, I tried it. It still works. So you guys agree that this would cut, but nobody would want to use it? Okay, I understand. Because there would be a lot of going. If you had to use it, you would use it, but you wouldn't choose to use it? Okay. You guys want to use this instead? Huh? Don't you think this would be a whole lot quicker than using that? Take a hold on for just a second. So you guys would rather use this, right? Oh, so okay, then you guys are going to use this. So if you had a choice between this one and this one, which would you use? Because this one has more what? Power. But do you know what? Now what if I offered this one here? How many thinks this one's a better option? Why? So you think this one has better use to me? I just love that sound. I just love that sound. So, we agree then, if we're going to use this one or this one, we're going to use this one. But if we're going to use this one or this one, we'd rather use this one. Why would you rather use this one? Because it has more power. So you've got this saw here that's going to take our strength. So let's do this. Let's say this saw represents us. This is what we can do on our own power. We can cut it, but it's going to take forever. It's going to be a lot harder, and it's not going to be as fun to use, right? But this one here represents God. How many knows that this saw... Okay, guys. Shh. Hold on for just a second, okay? I don't know. Just stop. How many knows this one has more power? How many knows, though, if you don't use this one right, it could hurt you? Yeah. Right? If I went across my arm, I could potentially lose my hand, right? Yeah. But how many knows that this is a very good tool? Because we would rather use this than use that. So this represents God. Now, I can use this saw 100 times. Will you please stop? I'm trying to teach a lesson. Thank you. Go sit down and be quiet. How many knows if I use this one, this is going to make my life easier? Do you agree? Yeah. It won't take as much energy. I'll rely on this. And how many knows that this is a very helpful tool? And that I can depend on this. Because it's plugged in, it's got power. And as long as I use this, and I treat it with, what's that word? That nothing's ever going to happen to me, because I'm always going to use this one because it has power. But I have to show it respect. How many knows that the devil is an imitator? The devil has no power except that little bit that God allows him to have. The devil says, well, guess what? I got power too. I can help you out. That's not even nearly as impressive, is it? But you know what? Eventually, after using this one a couple times, because I've used it many times, what happens to it? It runs out of power because it's not hooked up to the power. So this one, like the devil, see, everything the devil does is so puny and so wimpy. Now this can still hurt me. And that's what the devil wants to do. The devil wants to hurt you. Well, you got him? Okay, thank you. Unbelievable. I'm trying to teach a lesson here, and you guys are making it so hard. Now, we're back to this saw. So we got the power that God, how many knows that God has power? Amen. Gertie, can you please sit down? God has power, but as long as we respect Him, as long as we show Him respect and act the right way, God ain't going to hurt us. But how many knows if we don't do right, we hurt ourselves? God allows that because He has a certain way He wants us to act. He has a certain requirement for how we should act, how we should treat others, how we should act in His... What do you guys... Okay. So I'm getting really frustrated. Sister? Gertie? Thank you. I know you're trying to help. You guys got to stop, okay? I'm trying to teach this lesson, and you guys are being disrespectful to me.
I'm just on Super Sunday's Facebook page.
It's
It's dirty.
okay. Can I please? Okay, you stop. Yes. Stop. Christopher, put up the next scripture. I want to show you a scripture about God. It says, and one cried unto another and said, Holy, holy, holy is the Lord of hosts. The whole earth is full of His glory. God deserves our ultimate respect. God's house deserves... Wow. Did you just throw the Bible? Okay. What are you doing with the whistle?
She's blowing it.
What are you doing?
She was blowing it. She needed a Bible.
Okay, but you threw it to her. That is God's word.
But that was not my Bible.
Come here. Bring it here. Bring it here. Put the whistle on. How many knows what this says? Wait, I heard it. What's that word?
Holy.
It's a Bible, but what kind of Bible?
Holy.
It's a Bible, but what kind of Bible?
Holy.
Holy. Holy. Holy. Holy Bible. This Sister,
I don't see no holes in it.
sit down.
Holes in my Bible?
There's not holes in your Bible. This is a holy Bible. Holy means holy, but holy doesn't mean holy like you think it means. It means God is holy, and He's not full of holes. God is holy in reverence. We reverence God in His holiness, not His holiness, in His holiness. Gertie, you're supposed to be helping. No, you're not. Sister,
What?
I appreciate that you've been quiet for a few seconds.
Okay. But I gotta pee now.
Sister, can you hold it till church is over with? We're almost done.
But I can't go now?
No.
Hey.
Sister, can I ask you a question? If you're out playing with Cousin Luke and Big Baby and Ernie, how many bathroom trips do you make? Shh! Will you be quiet? Please be
I
quiet.
don't know how to get her to be quiet.
Thank you. But you're being just as disrespectful and you're disturbing just as much as she is because of what you're doing. Now you got her crying.
I'm doing good, right?
You're not being good.
Why?
Because you're making all this noise trying to make them be quiet. Big Baby, put the whistle down. Thank you. That's okay. Can you be quiet for just a second? Let me finish this. Do you know when you come into the house of the Lord that there's a certain reverence that you need to make? That there's a certain way that you're supposed to treat the house of God? Can you just have a seat, please?
I don't sit on the altar. I know that.
Thank you.
Granny will get her.
Good. Granny should get her. I wish Granny was here right now because Granny would be having a field day with both of you.
Don't tell her.
When you come into the house of the Lord, remember guys, we're not talking about me, okay? We're not talking about, now I'll get on to you and I'll tell you how you should act, but you know what? I'm not God, so really what I do doesn't mean really anything. We're not talking about the devil because who gives a care what he thinks, right? He's mad right now because we're all here, okay? So we done made him mad. But we're talking about God.
I didn't do it. She did it.
Okay? When you come into the house of God, sister, there's a way you're supposed to act. When you enter in those back doors back there, right back there, you see what I'm talking about, Michelle, right there beside you? Those doors? This place is supposed to be treated with respect. When you're in the house of God, you're not supposed to be running around. Now, I know we have Super Sunday here, and we play games and stuff, and yes, we do that. Okay, that's part of Super Sunday. But when we're not having Super Sunday, when we're just in church, or if you're just here, you got to treat God's house with respect. God's place is supposed to be... How many of you treat your own houses like trash?
I was doing that. I was helping.
But you were doing that.
I was telling them what to do.
But you were getting everybody's attention. Everybody was watching.
Okay.
Gertie, when you were running back and forth and blowing the whistle, even though you were trying to help me make them be quiet, you were distracting people because they were watching you mess with them. The best way to handle somebody like Sister or Big Baby here is to ignore them.
That's not nice either.
Yes, it is nice because when you're in the house of God, for me, the way I should act is not to act like you. When you're in God's house, I want to show you something. Everybody look up here. There's two things. What's the difference between these two benches here and those benches out here? Does anybody know?
You're not sitting on those benches.
You're not sitting on those benches, but what's the difference? Why don't we sit on those? Wouldn't it be closer?
Big deal.
That's where you pray.
Does anybody know what these are? They're altars. What are altars?
A place where we pray.
A place where we pray and talk to God. So, does that mean, okay, Trevor, does that mean that this place here that I'm going to kneel and pray, that I should just go ahead and sit down on it because it don't matter, it's just anything? Do you think that lightning is going to come out of the sky and strike me because I'm sitting on this? I would say that probably that's not going to happen. But you know what? My respect for God doesn't allow me to wait for lightning to fall out of the sky and strike me. My respect for God says, I'm not going to do it. Do you get that? I don't need God to strike me with lightning to tell me not to do something. I've been taught that there's certain things you don't do in the house of God. So we respect the house of God. So things like running in church, should we do that? Should we treat God's house like we treat our backyard? Or should we treat it better? How many thinks the way Sister, you moved on me. How many thinks the way Sister was acting earlier when she threw the Bible over to Big Baby? How many thinks that's the way to act? Do you think God's book is just like any other book? Should God's book be treated like anything else? Now, I was taught growing up that if you have the Bible sitting on a table, that God's book should never be treated this way. I got it sitting on the table, but I got to put my salt somewhere, right? So that's okay, I'll just do that. That's cool, right? No, that's not cool. God's book always goes on top because God's always on top. So if you've got a Bible in your house and it's covered with stuff, uncover it. Treat God's stuff with respect. Treat God's altars with respect. How many wants the place that you talk to God to be just like any other place? No, it's our special place that we talk to God. Whether it be here in church or somewhere in your house, that you find a special place in your house to kneel down and pray.